Unpleasant premonitions tend to be right. I felt the presence of someone who shouldn't be in the dusty room next to the storage used as my parents' home. I pressed my ear against the wall. The growling voices of a man and a woman. What they were doing was clear. The sound of my own heart echoed throughout my body. What are those two up to? Knowing that my daughter Luna and I are on the same property? I felt sick with disgust. I locked the room from the outside. The two of them were too engrossed to notice. My name is Zoe, I'm 37 years old. I live with my husband Owen and our preschooler, Luna. Starting today, we're spending 3 days at my parents' home, which is a 30-minute drive away. Normally, my parents and grandma live there, just the three of them. Recently, my parents won a travel voucher and decided to go on a trip for 2 nights and 3 days. Grandma can take care of herself despite having some trouble walking. I'll call you if I need the car, so it'll be just fine. That's what she said, but I wonder if 3 days alone wouldn't be lonely for her. Moreover, she's been becoming more forgetful and spacey lately, perhaps due to her age. Worried, I discussed it with Owen. Then he suggested, "If you're so worried about your grandma, let's all stay over." All of us? It'll be good exercise for Luna to play, and it'll surely be fun with all the commotion. That might be nice. So we decided to spend 3 days with grandma at my parents' home. The day my parents left for their trip, Luna and I arrived at my parents' home to meet grandma. Owen would come after work. At the entrance, I said, "Hello." But grandma didn't hear me because she's hard of hearing. Inside, she was drinking coffee. Luna greeted her. "Hello, grandma." "Who's there?" "It's Luna." Luna." Then, looking at me, "Who's there?" she again asked. It might be the onset of dementia, not just forgetfulness. "It's me, Zoe. We'll be staying from today." Yes, I understand. Coming here was the right decision. Leaving her alone would have been worrisome. Since giving birth to Luna, we've occasionally visited my parents' home but never stayed over. Due to concerns about infections, we've been cautious about interactions between infants and the elderly. Though it's not entirely safe now, I don't think there's a need to be overly fearful. My parents' home is a large, old house in the countryside. With a big yard, the main house, a garden, and a small house next door. The small house next to it used to contain my and my siblings' rooms. Now, it's used as storage for farming tools, my brother's hobbies and collections, old study desks, and broken appliances, basically a collection of let's just put it here for now. They should just get rid of it all. It's a common story in my parents' home. "Mom, what's over there?" Luna asked, wanting to go to the small house next door. "You can't play there, Luna." "Why not?" "It's dangerous, and there might be ghosts." "Ghosts?" Luna shrank back. It's an effective way to convince children, after all. "Really?" I felt a bit guilty under her earnest gaze, but grandma backed me up. "It's true, Luna." "Really? There are ghosts?" "Yes." "I'm scared, Grandma." It was surprising that grandma played along, but it seemed to have completely convinced her. I don't want Luna going near the small house. It hasn't been cleaned in a while, so the air isn't good, and it's an old building, so various things get in. Drafts, bugs, and such. Also, many of my brother's belongings are still there. He was into fixing bikes, so parts and tools are scattered everywhere. It's dirty and dangerous to touch. He also has adult magazines lying around haphazardly, which he claims are too valuable to dispose of because they're out of print. He should keep them with him if they're that precious. The front door opened, and a cheerful voice said, "It's been a while." It was my sister Chloe. Chloe is single and works nights, so it's been a while since we last saw each other. "Chloe, what brings you here?" "What's wrong with coming back to my parents' home?" "You don't usually come." "I heard you were staying over, so I came too." "Who told you?" "I ran into Owen by chance and he told me." Chloe is a free spirit. Even at 40, she hasn't settled into a steady job, juggling gigs at pubs and working as an event companion. She loves herself dearly, boasts about the many men who support her, and never stops talking about her conquests. It's her life, and I think she should live it as she pleases, but every time she shows her face to our parents, they worry. and it seems to annoy her. I'll be staying for a while too. That's okay with you, Grandma? Oh, who's this? Grandma asked, looking at Chloe. Is it forgetfulness, or is it because Chloe's makeup is so heavy? Hey, it's me. Chloe. Oh, Chloe. Of course, you can stay. You're more than welcome. I'm not thrilled about the idea of Luna spending time with sharp-tongued Chloe, but if Grandma says it's okay, then I suppose there's no helping it. Luna's still young, so try not to be too loud, okay? I know that. I'll just lie down a bit, so take your time doing all the chores. Chloe said to me, then promptly laid down. What? What does that even mean? Am I expected to take care of Chloe too? She's bold, coming here to relax with impunity just because our no-nonsense parents are away. What a sly woman. For dinner, I'd like some gratin. Chloe, if you're going to make requests, at least help out. Ah? My nails are too long, I can't. Really, Chloe, at your age, with such long nails? Then Luna, staring at Chloe's nails, said, Is Chloe a witch? What? My nails are cute, right? You better say they're cute, or I'll scratch you with my witch's nails. I'm disappointed in my sister's childish behavior. When the gratin Chloe requested was ready, Owen came home from work. It looked like a party scene, everyone enjoying themselves. Chloe and Owen, who hadn't seen each other since our wedding, got along well, both enjoying their drinks. It was a lively dinner. Grandma seemed happy the entire time. Owen got quite drunk and merry. Hey, Owen. Don't drink too much. I cautioned, concerned, but Chloe cut in. Let him be. You're such a miser, Zoe. If you keep up with Chloe, you'll be smashed. Quiet, Zoe. Owen, here. Drink up. Cheers. He was already plastered. This spells a hangover for sure. I can't deal with two drunkards. I've warned them, the rest is on them. Luna and I took showers and went to bed in Grandma's room at the usual time. The next morning, as expected, the two were asleep in the living room. The room was filled with the smell of alcohol. Not a thing cleaned up. Not that I was expecting any different. Thank goodness it's a holiday today, I said in an exasperated voice. I told you so. What are you two doing? Hearing this, Owen sprang up. Where am I? At my parents' home. Forgot? My head hurts. You drank too much. Why not take a shower? Owen groaned his way to the bathroom, while Chloe didn't budge at all. She seemed to be sleeping comfortably, but I needed her to wake up. Chloe, it's morning. I tried to wake her, but she seemed lost in a dream. Hey, no, not that. Can you not make that disgusting sound? Huh? Zoe? Oh, it's just you, Zoe. She laughed, sounding pleased. Seems she still has alcohol in her system. Hey Zoe, Owen's a great guy, isn't he? Yes, he is. Kind and a good person. They seem to have gotten quite close after drinking together. I'm looking forward to tonight. Huh? You're drinking alone tonight? No way. I want to drink with Owen. Chloe, you always drink too much. Not my problem if you get sick. Huh? You're such a bore. Don't blame me if Owen leaves you. Don't worry about it. I decided to leave Chloe to her second sleep. She's really selfish. After breakfast, I cleaned up and went to tidy the garden with Grandma. It's a nice, relaxing holiday. Luna came up to me, playing around the house. Mom, there's an animal inside the house. Really? This way. Luna led me, and we approached the small house next door. Luna, I told you, the small house is off limits because it might have ghosts. Sorry, but I heard an animal's voice. She must have gotten close while playing. Nostalgia mixed with an unpleasant premonition. I'll check for ghosts, so go to Grandma. Okay, got it. Luna ran back. Now, I'll figure out what this unpleasant premonition is all about. From inside the room, there's a presence of someone. I can hear voices, though not clearly. There are sounds of movement. I quietly entered the room that once was mine. The moment I entered the dusty room that had become a storeroom, I understood the situation. In the next room, which used to be my brother's room, Owen and Chloe were there. Noises like a beast groaning. What they were doing was clear. I felt my blood run cold and immediately stepped outside the room. The sound of my own heartbeat echoed throughout my body. Blood rushed to my head. What on earth are those two doing? Do they understand their relationship? Even though Luna and I are on the same property, what nerve? I felt nauseated with disgust. I wanted to knock on the door right away, but I decided to stay calm. I locked the door from the outside. The only room with a lock added later by parents who wanted to stop my brother from sneaking out with his motorcycle at night. A simple mechanism, just a catch and a turn of the knob. The two of them, lost in their world, didn't notice. There's a window in my brother's room, but outside is a high fence. Escape is impossible. In other words, I've trapped them inside. When I returned home, Luna asked with concern. "Mom, is there a ghost over there?" "Yes, Luna. Never go near it, okay?" "I thought it was an animal." Hearing this, Grandma prayed towards the sky.
"So, it has appeared, as expected. The spirit of an animal."
Surprised, I asked. "What do you mean by as expected?" Grandma started talking with a solemn face.
2 years ago, a family of raccoons settled in the small house next door. We had to drive them away because it would be trouble if they increased. It's their curse.
Wasn't that unavoidable?
I've always been concerned. I can't forget the resentful eyes of the raccoons as they ran away.
Grandma. I don't know if raccoons have such power, but Grandma's eyes were not joking. "Ghost, be gone!" "Grandma, I'm scared." "It's okay. I'll get rid of it right away." Grandma stood up, her eyes sharp, and said, "Zoe, get something long." "What?" What could possibly be long enough to exorcise a ghost? Anyway, I looked for something suitable and handed her a long broom. "We'll make the raccoon leave." Grandma, who was supposed to have trouble walking, ran briskly towards the small house next door. "Grandma, it's dangerous." "Don't stop me." "Here we go." Thinking it would be terrible if the two inside got to know what was happening next door, I also ran after her quickly. The door to my brother's room shook, and from inside, "Is someone there? Open up, came the voice. Due to the alcohol or too much fun, Chloe's voice was hoarse. Luna screamed in terror and hid behind me. Grandma raised the broom. "What's this? It speaks? Damn raccoon." Grandma believed without a doubt it was a raccoon. With the broom ready, she attempted to open the door. I panicked. Inside was a scene I definitely didn't want Grandma and Luna to see. "It's dangerous, don't open it." "Grandma, the raccoon will feel sorry. It might attack us suddenly." Indeed, that's true. We calmed down the excited Grandma. Meanwhile, from inside the room, "Open up, hurry!" the voices continued. Realizing it was only a matter of time before they discovered who was inside, I told Grandma, "We can't handle this. Let's get a medium or a professional exorcist to cleanse it." "Yes, that's a good idea. Let's go look for one right away. To ensure they can't escape, let's do this." Grandma hooked the broom on the door. "Even if the lock is opened, the door won't move. Let's go." We quickly got ready and got into the car. But really, where should we go? Despite saying it myself, what exactly is a professional exorcist? Knowing what's inside the room, we can't really have it cleansed. Driving for a while and checking on Grandma through the rearview mirror, she seems about to fall asleep from exhaustion. "Grandma, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Where should we head to?" "I'm hungry, let's eat something." "What? Is that okay?" "What is?" Grandma looked bewildered. She seems to have forgotten. "I'm hungry too, Mom." Luna also said this. Then, I'll forget too. Forget about the affair of the two in the small house next door, forget that I locked them in. It was a raccoon. Yes, a ghost raccoon. It's better if it doesn't exist, and since they can't escape as is, it's fine to leave them and forget. We enjoyed our meal slowly at a restaurant, did some shopping, watched a movie since we were at it, and it was sunset when we returned home. Grandma had completely forgotten about the ghost, and she seemed content. Mom, there are lots of police cars in front of our house. Just as Luna said, there were several patrol cars, police officers, and neighbors gathered around our house. What on earth did those two do? I asked the police officer. What happened? Did something happen at our house? Grandma looked anxious too. The police officer started explaining. In the small house next to yours. Then, Grandma remembered. Right. The raccoon ghost. She remembered. Grandma was gearing up for battle again. But it seems that wasn't necessary. Owen and Chloe, being questioned, were visible. According to the police officer, they were climbing the fence. A neighbor thought they were burglars and called the police. They weren't climbing but, I guess, coming down. Who would have thought they'd try to escape through that window? I had Grandma and Luna go inside, and I stayed to talk with the police. We're not burglars, okay? Chloe, still assertive in this situation, was somehow enviable. I would be embarrassed. Contrastingly, Owen found me and gave me a wry smile while Chloe glared at the police officer. No, this is troubling. It turned into quite the scene. After saying that to me, he turned to the officer with an indifferent expression. So, no criminal case here, we're good, right? That nonchalant attitude irritated me. After all this commotion, you think we're just fine? Pretending it didn't happen? What? I confronted the confused two. Why did you climb the fence? We were locked in. Why? Why were you two in the small house next door?
Well, that is.
Owen immediately apologized. Forgive us. We were just playing around. Chloe grabbed him. Wait, it was you who hit on me, right? I didn't hit on you. Huh? If you're told to come stay at your parents' home, you'd think you're hit on, right? So, their relationship didn't start today. I thought Chloe had hit on him, but it turns out Owen did. I didn't say we should do it here. You got excited because of the indecent magazines there. No, you undressed first. Am I cold for feeling detached, even though I'm his wife, at such a time? It's more like I'm speechless, or rather, I don't want to be involved. But I can't just ignore it. This is my husband and sister. You're both at fault. Disgusting. Don't you have any decency? Do you realize what you've done? It's not something humans do, more like animals in heat. I said with contempt. Chloe looked indignant. She clearly doesn't think she did anything wrong. Owen was sweating and looked disturbed. I was wrong. Don't come near me. Sorry for getting carried away. Chloe cut in. Owen, you were so happy saying I'm a better match for you than Zoe. That you can't have fun without me anymore. I didn't say that far. I said, please, go ahead. Do that forever. But listen to me. At that moment, Grandma, wearing a pot on her head, came running out of the house. Luna was with her. Prepare yourself, ghost. She seemed to have remembered. It's the perfect fighting stance. I understand the situation, but Chloe and Owen seemed too surprised to make a sound. Show your tail. As she said this, she lifted Owen's shirt to reveal painful claw marks on his back. Luna gasped in surprise. It's a witch. Witch's claws, Grandma. A witch. This person is definitely a witch. Luna pointed at Chloe. Grandma, trembling, said, a raccoon ghost and a witch, this is like a haunted house. Get out. Get out right now. The police officer cast a doubtful look at the two. The homeowner seems to be treating you like strangers, but are you really not burglars? No way. Not at all. I'm the daughter of this house. Right, Zoe? I looked at Chloe with a cold gaze and said, I don't know you. What? I don't have a family member who would go after someone's husband, and I forever want nothing to do with a husband who has been marked on the back. That's not. But since it would be troublesome if they settled in the small house next door and became evil spirits, they should leave through the proper channels. I'll proceed with the divorce papers and the claim for alimony through a lawyer. Goodbye. You're kidding, right? The two of them had faces I couldn't bear to look at, crying. No matter what they say, I won't forgive this betrayal. Grandma, don't worry. I've taken care of the ghost. The divorce I thought Owen would fuss over went smoothly. Because, as it turned out, Chloe was pregnant. This made me feel more dismayed than angry or frightened. Owen denied involvement, suggesting there could be other possible fathers, but Chloe said, "Planning to run away? The morning sickness." "Oh, are you okay? Are you going to abandon me with morning sickness? You're definitely the dad. Take responsibility." Pressured by Chloe, the divorce and then remarriage happened. Even the parents, once they knew the situation, were furious. They disowned Chloe, telling her to do as she pleased. Who the child's father is, I couldn't care less about, but I never want to see those two faces again, and most importantly, I don't want them meeting Luna. Let's completely forget about such a nightmare. However, it didn't go that way. Chloe's pregnancy turned out to be a lie. More accurately, a misunderstanding, as the nausea she thought was morning sickness was due to liver damage from too much drinking, requiring detailed examination. Chloe, moved from the obstetrics and gynecology to the gastroenterology department, apparently lamented, "Not being able to drink my beloved alcohol is just a waste of life." How unreasonable. A veteran nurse told her, "You shouldn't be drinking alcohol in the first place if you're pregnant." Ashamed and enraged, she responded, "I know that. But I want to drink." "You'll end up spending your life in the hospital." "No way!" Will it be hospitalization or a directive to quit drinking? Maybe this will finally calm her down. It should serve as a moment to rethink her life. Owen, newly married to Chloe, has been frantically calling friends, looking for me and Luna. "I was wrong. Please, let's start over." Leaving messages like that, but it's bothersome, so I wish he'd stop. After losing a wife and child, he's on the verge of losing friends too. Next time, without cheating, I hope he and Chloe support each other and find happiness. The small house next to the parents' home was cleansed, demolished, and a new house was built. The house for me and Luna to live in. Originally, it was something the parents had planned for us. So, it's a bit big for just the two of us. Life is long, so someone else might end up living there. To ensure no raccoons get in, I'll make sure to lock up properly. Living with us, Grandma's forgetfulness has decreased. Luna prefers Grandma's room over the new house. With Grandma, I'm not scared even if ghosts appear. I remember Grandma and Luna's battle stance and laugh. By the way, today's your birthday, isn't it? Already 56, huh? Still not giving up on marriage even at this age? How about you, saying such things? Looking back, I'm really glad I was abandoned then. If I had stayed with a man like that, I would never have achieved the happiness I have now. I am Stacia, 56 years old. This was 27 years ago. It was the story of my 9th year at the company I joined after graduating from university. My job was as a receptionist at the company, handling visitors. Nice to meet you, I'm Willard Gibbons. I look forward to working with you. I'm Stacia Rawl at reception. The pleasure is mine. The man introduced as the successor to our client, Willard Gibbons, was the very person who abandoned me. He appeared to be about my age or a bit older. I'd like to say it was Willard's handsome face, but it was actually his voice that captivated me. Just hearing it made me fall for him. With that deep voice.
"I like you, Stacia,"
Asterisk whispered in my ear. But surely, he must have a lovely wife and adorable kids. I indulged in such wishful thinking about Willard until, 2 years later, our relationship changed. It was my last day as a receptionist, as I was moving to another department. That day, Willard, who happened to visit the office, was told by me, "Actually, today is my last day at the reception as I'm moving to another department." To which he responded, "Oh, really?" Willard, whose expression seemed to darken for a moment, suddenly took out a business card, started writing something on it. "Please call me if you feel like it," and handed it to me. On the back of the card was Willard's home phone number. What, really? My heart raced at what could be construed as an advance from Willard, whom I had always thought was married. When I nervously called Willard, He told me he'd had feelings for me since our first meeting. Stacia, such a fitting name for your charming persona. It might be rude to ask a woman her age, but how old are you, Stacia? Taken aback by Willard's sudden familiarity, I hesitantly replied. I'm 31. What? 31? You're 5 years older than me? I'm sorry. I assumed you were younger, hence my casual tone. No, it's fine. I was just as surprised to know his age. I had thought Willard was about my age or slightly older, not 5 years younger. Would you like to go out for a meal with me sometime? Of course, my answer was a yes, especially when asked in his charming voice. We enjoyed a meal at Willard's favorite restaurant over the weekend. Then, on our way back, we were caught in a sudden downpour, getting completely soaked. My house is nearby. You're welcome to come over to dry off your clothes and hair, he said. Oh, but... After a moment of silence, Willard spoke first. Stacia, would you consider dating me? What? But I'm 5 years older than you. It's fine. I was surprised at first, but you look young, and it's really okay. I appreciate the sentiment, but I only date with marriage in mind. So, I'm serious too. Please consider dating me, with marriage as our goal. It was dark, and I couldn't see his expression clearly, but he didn't seem to be joking. As I hesitated, Willard passionately spoke about marriage and finally said, But, as a man and a professional, I'm not yet in a position to financially support you and a child. So, I ask for a little patience before we marry. Moved by Willard's sincerity and passion, I accepted his feelings. 2 years passed without a proposal from Willard, but our relationship was going smoothly. Then, suddenly, tragedy struck. I was diagnosed with a women's-specific illness. I've always had severe menstrual cramps, but this time, I felt a dull pain in my lower back when it wasn't even my period, prompting a visit to the doctor. I'll write a referral for you to a specialist right away. I couldn't stop crying in the doctor's office when I heard this. After undergoing thorough examinations at the specialist, I decided to have surgery and finally told Willard about my illness. I was worried when you said you had something serious to talk about. Glad to hear it's not life-threatening. But, Willard, you said you wanted children, remember? Of course, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But they only said there's a high risk of infertility, not that you can't get pregnant. So, stop looking so apologetic. Okay? Okay. After successfully undergoing surgery and being discharged, I made sure to live a healthy life, from diet to exercise, while attending regular hospital checkups. I started noticing a change in Willard's behavior after I was discharged. Whereas before, we almost always spent weekends together. It's important to have time with the guys, too. He began going out alone more often. I wondered, could there be another woman? An affair? I doubted Willard at times, but nothing beats Stacia's cooking. If I'm going to have a wife, she needs to be a great cook like you. He always enjoyed my cooking, and when we were together, Willard was the same as he ever was, so I chose to believe in him. Or rather, I kept telling myself, I have to believe in Willard, I must trust him. Then, 1 month before my 35th birthday, a day that would become fateful, the happiest event of my life happened. I was pregnant with Willard's child. I wondered how happy Willard would be to learn that I, who might have been unable to conceive, was pregnant. But, considering the risk of miscarriage, I couldn't tell him right away. Then came my 35th birthday. Willard had booked a private room at the fanciest restaurant we'd ever been to. I took my seat nervously, and when Willard asked if red wine was okay, I chose water instead. What's wrong, Stacia? You feeling okay?
No, it's nothing like that.
All right, but you said you had something to talk about. What is it? You said you had something to say too, Willard. You go first. After a brief back and forth of insisting the other go first. Okay, I'll start then. What came out of Willard's mouth was not what I had expected. What? You want to break up? What do you mean? I'm getting married. My girlfriend is pregnant. Wait a minute. Married? What do you mean your girlfriend is pregnant? It's exactly what it sounds like. Married? Girlfriend? What was all this about? I was in a state of panic, unable to comprehend what Willard was saying. So, what about me waiting for marriage as you asked? I'm pregnant too. Right now, your baby is inside me. What? A baby? That can't be true. Why would I lie about something like this? But Stacia, you said you had infertility issues. Were you deceiving me from the start? Making me think you couldn't have children just to create a fait accompli. How could you say that? I would never do such a thing. If you had someone else, you should have told me earlier. If only you had told me sooner. Maybe you never intended to marry me from the start. That's not true. It's not like I started disliking you. You're a great cook and pretty. But in the end, you're in your 30s, older. I thought it'd be better to marry and have children with someone younger. Anyway, if my girlfriend or her parents found out about this. What a thing to say. That's just awful. Before I could stop myself, my hand moved and I threw water in Willard's face. Hey! What are you doing? Be thankful it wasn't the red wine. What the hell? I'm soaking wet. I was planning to celebrate your last birthday grandly. Enjoy your life with your young girlfriend. I stood up and left the restaurant. A few days later, Willard came to my apartment. I don't want any trouble later. This is for the hospital bills and a token of gratitude for everything. Please, take it without hesitation. He handed me an envelope filled with cash. I don't need your money. I wanted to throw the envelope back at him. But I needed money to raise my child alone. Fine, I'll take it. As I took the envelope. So you're taking the money after all. Well, it's fine. Let's call it even, no hard feelings. I hope you find someone nice and be happy, Stacia. With those words, Willard left the apartment. I promised my unborn child. I will protect you, Mom will keep you safe. 21 years later. The man I never wanted to see again, ironically, I met on my 56th birthday. Heading somewhere that day, I was waiting for the elevator on the ground floor of a certain building. Then, after I got into the elevator, a man wearing glasses followed in from behind. Which floor, please? He replied. 5th floor, thank you. His voice, deep and to my liking. Sounded familiar. But without turning around, I also got off at the 5th floor, following the man. He stopped in front of a marriage consultation office. Noticing me standing behind him as he hesitated to enter, the man turned around. After a few seconds of mutual puzzlement, we exclaimed in unison. Why are you here? Same question to you. What are you doing here? Yes, the man was Willard Gibbons, the one who abandoned me when I was 35. Once slim and muscular, his body now had a belly overhanging his belt, reminiscent of Winnie the Pooh. Willard, now wearing glasses, had changed so much that I might not have recognized him just by passing by. I, too, had changed. Time spares no one, it seems. And once again, I realized the formidable power of 21 years. As I was thinking this, Willard suddenly pointed at me and burst into laughter. By the way, today's your birthday, right? 56 already, huh? Still haven't given up on marriage at your age? You still remember my birthday? If I'm old at 56, then at 51, you're old too, aren't you? What are you talking about? I'm only 51. You round up, and you're practically 60. More importantly, why are you here? Aren't you supposed to be married? Did you get divorced? Yeah. She couldn't cook or even do laundry, washed vegetables with dish soap. I married her because she was young and cute, but not being able to do household chores is unacceptable. So, I decided to cut my losses. What about the child? Wasn't she pregnant? Child? She miscarried soon after. Looking back, I should have taken the child from you at that time. What? After all this time? Even if I had given birth then, I would never have handed my child over to you. By the way, Willard, do you have a reservation? This place is by appointment only. What? Reservation? I just passed by and saw the sign, thought I'd drop in to kill time. No need for a reservation, right? Was it age? Or something else with Willard himself? He had become surprisingly rude. I didn't want to spend another minute with such a man. I thought about how to get rid of him. But then it struck me. Could this be an opportunity? Yes. It must be. A chance given by fate to settle a 21-year-old grudge. I abandoned the idea of driving him away and smiled at Willard. I'm going to the restroom. Please go ahead inside. Pretending to go to the bathroom, I sent a message on WhatsApp to someone. Then, entering the consultation office, I listened to the voices in the private rooms. Well, I'm not in a hurry to get married, but, just killing time. Mr. Gibbons, our clients are all serious about marriage. If you're just here to joke around, please leave. I'm sorry. I'm not joking. I'm serious about finding a wife. Please help me. Where did his earlier bravado go? Maybe he was nervous in front of a young woman. Hearing the now apologetic voice of Willard, I almost burst out laughing. In that case, Mr. Gibbons, could you tell us your indispensable criteria for a marriage partner? Well, I'd like someone in her early 20s, petite, good at cooking, and healthy enough to have children. And she should be sociable and intelligent, quick thinking. That's my ideal. Excuse me? The husband works outside, the wife takes care of the home, including housework, childcare, and social interactions. She needs to be sociable. Also, I'm the eldest son, so I'd prefer someone willing to live with my parents. Don't worry. My parents are kind and gentle like me. They won't be a nuisance. Eventually, she might need to take care of them, so having a caregiver's qualification would be a plus. Hearing Willard list his ideal conditions, I was astonished. Mr. Gibbons, frankly speaking, the number of women we can introduce to you is close to 0. Suddenly, Willard's polite tone turned into a sharp one. What? 0? I get it for a 56-year-old, but I'm only 51. Are you saying you can't introduce anyone to me? Mr. Gibbons, who is this 56-year-old you mentioned? Are you referring to my mom? Your mom! Yes, I am that mom. I opened the door and stepped in. You! Surprised, Willard was lost for words. It's easy to say anything when no one's listening. You're too ambitious for an old man. Such an ignorant fool. I am Stacia Cocker, the head of this marriage agency. And this staff member is my daughter, Mavis. Eh? Indeed, the person I messaged while pretending to go to the bathroom was Mavis. I apologize for the late introduction. I'm Mavis, her daughter. Mr. Gibbons, I heard you were a great help to my mom in the past. Allow me to thank you belatedly. No, it wasn't like that. Wait, you two are mother and daughter. Does that mean, is that child mine? My daughter? Of course not. She's 25. If I had a child back then, they would be around 20 now. Eh? She's Floyd's daughter, whom I married when I was 38. She's my precious daughter now. I married Floyd, who had lost his wife to illness and was raising his daughter alone, through a marriage agency. And now, I want to help people who are raising children alone for various reasons, just like my husband and I did, to find their own encounters. I want to make the concept of meeting someone feel more accessible and closer to the heart. Inspired by that thought, I opened a marriage consultation agency when I was 42 years old. Thanks to being abandoned by you 21 years ago, I found a happy family and a fulfilling job. Thank you very much. What? I never wanted to see you again, but being able to thank you like this clears my heart. But please, never show yourself to me again. What? Never show my face again? I don't want to see yours ever again either. Mavis then spoke to Willard, who was glaring at me. Then, Mr. Gibbons, it seems we weren't meant to work together. Could you please leave now? I would have left even if you hadn't said that. We wish you luck and hope you find a suitable match. The exit is that way, please take care. As Mavis politely guided him. Mocking me, mother and daughter together. Frustrated, Willard threw his paper coffee cup against the wall. However, the paper cup was empty, having been drained of its contents. It fell to the floor, making a faint, pitiless sound. He then lifted the chair he was sitting on. I immediately instructed Mavis. Mavis, call the police. No, call Floyd directly. There's a man causing a scene. Right, Dad will come quickly. As Mavis was about to call. Wait! Your husband is a cop. Fine, I won't do anything. I'm leaving, just don't call. Rushing to leave, Willard headed in the wrong direction. That's the bathroom. The exit is over there, as Mavis just said. It's a confusing layout. It's all a nuisance. He kicked a nearby potted plant and limped out of the room. Take care. Mavis and I waved him off with smiles. Mom, it was really a good thing you broke up with him. And he even thought Dad was a cop. Really? He's so clueless. My husband Floyd isn't a police officer but owns a security company. An avid rugby player since high school, Floyd could easily handle Willard. Let's go home early for your birthday celebration tonight. Yes, let's. As for Willard Gibbons, who fled our marriage agency. After that, he seemed to have gone to another marriage consultation agency, but was quickly expelled for causing trouble, and the same thing happened at the next agency he visited. Eventually, Willard was labeled a dangerous person by the marriage agency industry in the area and was banned from entering. He caused a major scene at one of the agencies that rejected him. I heard from a colleague that he was detained and taken away by the police who responded to a call about his behavior. Meanwhile, I celebrated my 56th birthday with my family. Really, both Brannon and Dad, a father and son who both hate tomatoes. Sis, can't help it. I take after Dad. Come to think of it, you've recently started to look more like Dad, haven't you? Now you too, Mom. It's normal for a family to resemble each other, right? That's true. This Brannon, who Mavis and I were teasing, is the child who was in my womb 21 years ago. I told Brannon about his biological father when he turned 20. I am who I am today because of that man, but I don't want to meet or even think about the guy who abandoned Mom and me. My dad is my only dad, and my family is Dad, Mom, and Sis. Brannon said this to me. If Willard ends up leading a bachelor's life forever, that would be his own fault. It's none of my concern. However, for Brannon, he is a blood-related father. That's an undeniable fact. For Brannon's sake, I hope Willard can lead a decent life. Brannon and I have plans, so we'll be heading out first. Huh? I don't have any plans, though. You really are clueless. Come on, let's go. Okay. You two enjoy the rest of your time. Thanks to Mavis and Brannon's consideration, I walked along the coast, shoulder to shoulder with my husband, Floyd. The sea breeze felt pleasant on my cheeks. Stacia, thank you for being with me. And please continue to be with me. Likewise, thank you. We naturally held hands as we walked.